Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up in their names, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
Everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about a few keys to success that I've had throughout the last decade of my life, where I was able to amass $1 million in net worth, not have to necessarily rely on any one individual, and be able to strictly move on my own regard and my own purpose due to these simple habits and these simple principles that I have followed for over a decade. Now, at 28 years old, I own 2 properties, have a massive nest egg, emergency fund, and no stress whatsoever in life. I show my actual assets right here on this channel, and I allow people to see what I've invested in, how I started, and all the growth thereon so after. So I don't just talk to talk. I show the proof. I show the experience. You can Google me. You can see the properties that I own. All those things are available on the internet, right? And so what I'm speaking to you now is not just speaking from a place of, I think this may happen, but this is what has occurred and what has happened in my life and what can be replicated. Because again, if I can do it, so can you, right? I didn't grow up in a millionaire household. Like, I didn't grow up to people who were wealthy. And so this net worth had to be accumulated on my own. And that is where it all begins. So from a very early age, you hear certain things in life that cause you to pause. You start to take note of certain instances in your life that will cause you to shift your focus and gain a mindset of understanding. One of the key quotes that I heard earlier in life was, history repeats itself. And then I was also told that in order for history to not repeat itself, you must understand history, right? So we all grow up, we understand slavery, we understand what Hitler did, the Nazi movement, all this stuff. And so for certain things to not repeat itself, you must first gain understanding so that we don't repeat the past, but instead move forward to a future not yet conquered. And so, is there tribal things that would have occurred had we not understood history? Absolutely. There's a reason we have surveillance cameras in every nook and cranny of every neighborhood. There's a reason technology continues to advance itself. People continue to gain greater understanding. There's a reason for all these things. It's because we're trying to progress life. And in order to do that, we must understand and solve problems of the past in order to create a better future. How do people make money today? It's all by solving someone else's problems. We hear this time and time and time again. In order to make money, you solve a problem. In order to make more money, you solve more people's problems. And if you want to grow at scale, you cannot be the salesman or woman. You must then delegate those roles out to other people who will do the selling for you. And once that starts to occur, you build a network that will make you money while you sleep. And so now that we understand that you can start off small, for example, mom and pop businesses, cooking from the house and people going in there and grabbing food. If you really want to scale, you need to open stores where other people are selling your food, your recipes. And then do that again and again and again and again. And so the first thing I realized is that A wise man learns from other people's mistakes. History repeats itself. In order to be wise, you don't have to go through something first. And so in order for me to not go through the pitfalls that other people have gone through in the past, in order for me to not be like 70% of Americans in credit card debt, in order for me to not be a part of the 50+% of millennials who do not own real estate, in order for me to not be a part of the nearly 80% of people who have at least $7,000 in credit card debt, in order for me to not be a part of the more than 46% of people who have over $40,000 in student loans, I had to be able to grasp the concept of understanding and start to really shift my focus to the data in order to not repeat what has already been assessed. And understand that although I wasn't perfect, I went to college, I may have studied things that I may not have necessarily needed to study because of time constraints and not really being able to sit there and really hone what it is that I really needed to focus on. But now that we're out of that stage of life, now that we're able to sit and breathe and we're not on a rat wheel because we worked hard, we saved up, and then we invested, now we can sit back and truly take our time to identify purpose, identify wants, identify needs, identify what is correct for me and where I want to go. You see, a lot of people don't sit back and truly think about what life it is that they want to live. Some people simply just get lucky. You didn't know what you wanted to study in college. You didn't know what you wanted to do as you got older. You didn't know what you wanted 5 years and 10 years from now. You didn't know the consequences for your actions. You see, there's so much risk in this world. In order to get so little reward, you must start to identify which risk is worth attempting to begin with. And for those who are multi-millionaires and billionaires, trust and believe that so much risk was taken. But a lot of the times is with other people's money. A lot of the time is when they have no money that they take all the risk. You see, but when people are working on a scale with their own money and their own resources, they tend to be a lot more conservative with that. The reason why I truly believe I'm able to scale, I'm able to build upon what I have so quickly and so easily, investing in individual stocks, investing in ETFs, investing in bonds, investing in Series I bonds, investing in, real estate, is because I have to strategically invest my money. And I understand that the money that I've accumulated is through not only hard work, but my life. My time is my life. And so if I'm going to invest that, I need to ensure ample reward. And so this is why when it comes to real estate, I don't buy in places I wouldn't live. I don't buy in places that are not appreciating in value and that don't offer cash flow immediately. I understand that money is to make more money, and then there are some things for fun. You see, a lot of the times, it depends on your circle, but a lot of the times people only invite you for fun. They only invite you for a good time. They only invite you to spend, but they don't invite you to invest. They don't invite you to learn. They don't invite you to grow. A lot of the times, I'm not saying that everybody has to be where you want to be in life. Otherwise, is that truly a goal to aspire for? No. But what I am saying is When opportunity presents itself, who is there to truly assist and aid in that development? You see, a lot of the times, and it depends on the relationships that you want as well, but people are just there for the ride. You see, I'm a firm believer, if someone doesn't ask, you don't tell. So for example, if I say, hey, I need a remote like this, please show me a remote like this. Now, if you say, hey, buddy, there's 10 better remotes than this, it might just cost you 20% more. That's great. I'll say that's great. Where can I find this? And then they proceed to show you 20 other remotes that are 20% more expensive than this, greater than this, but not what I requested. See, I don't operate on that fear. And that's exactly, again, another reason why I created this channel, is because people who seek financial knowledge and understanding will seek that on their own. And when they seek that on their own, they will be able to distinguish what it is that they're looking for within their lives and apply that information in order to be successful. So now that we know history doesn't repeat itself, a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. Your time, your life is valuable, and that money that you have been working hard for shouldn't just be squandered. You apply it correctly. Become more conservative with said money. Start to implement that money in different ways. You see, before real estate, before the stock market, understand potential gains, understand asset reevaluation, understand appreciation, understand cash flow, understand dividends, understand drip, understand compounding interest, understand, again, appreciation over time, time value of money, understand your tax liability, understand short-term gains. All these words that I'm spilling out that you may or may not be familiar with, understand them so that you can then assess the value of said investment and be able to make wise decisions with discernment. With that being said, when I look at a piece of real estate, I can say, yeah, I can buy that right now. I got my pre-approval from the bank. I got everything that I need. I don't want to let said person down. I don't want to let myself down. Yeah, I can go ahead and buy that right now. But is it going to add value to what I am doing? Is it going to be worth the life money that I worked for, in order to then apply that to something that is going to yield greater fruit and greater returns than anything else that I could possibly be interested in? When I bought my first piece of real estate, it was going to cost me less than renting. That was a great value add. When I bought my second piece of real estate, it allowed me to live for free with the rent by the room strategy, cash flow, and appreciate. Great value add. Now, when you have a little bit more comfortability in a high interest rate environment without the need to forcefully move or live in the unit yourself, there's less of a value add proposition, and so things must be evaluated differently. While that is happening, the stock market is still booming. Record numbers are still coming across the board. Interest rates are coming down, so people are taking their money out of savings and investing it right in the markets, making tens of hundreds of dollars in dividends every single month. Why not continue that gravy chain? right? And so you, again, evaluating assets, evaluating money. Some people don't know what it's like to wake up and see 10 notifications, all dividend stocks paying me out. From McDonald's to Apple to Nvidia to Microsoft to Google to... People don't understand what it's like to wake up on a random Monday and have 2 companies just pay you $10, $20, $30. I've been living that life for over 10 years, where I would wake up, go to school, and I just got paid. Wake up, go to work, and I've already been paid. Some days I go to work, I get paid more from my stock market than I did an entire week of work. That is how much money is being made in these markets. I wake up some days $700, $3,000 in the stock market in a day, just like that. Not to say it doesn't go down. Of course, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes up. But in the long run, over the course of a year, I'm up $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. Haven't had a down year in over a decade. In over a decade. And so I say all this to say, like, in order to reap the benefits of financial freedom, of success, of financial independence, you must first understand that setting goals for yourself, not repeating the mistakes of others, and learning from history will absolutely guide you. I'm going to make a separate video on certain things to avoid, but I think that this was super, super valuable. I hope you gained value out of this as well. And if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.